Welcome back to another video. In today's book review, I will be reviewing Stephen King's Finders Keepers. Now let's look at the book cover. Keep in mind that this book is in Slovenian language, that's why the title looks weird. But I think it's a pretty okay book cover. As you can see, it's a pretty thick book. You know, it's not the worst, but I've seen better. You have this burning book and a bit of money, and that's all related to the story. You will see just in a moment. But yeah, I think it's a pretty okay book cover. Now, this is my second Stephen King book that I ever read. My first one was Cell. You can watch that video, it's on my YouTube channel. And actually, while I was reading this book, I was like 20 or I don't know, 40 or 50 pages, something like that, into this book. And I learned that this is the second book in a trilogy, and I started reading it before reading the first book, so yeah, that's a mistake on my part. But I actually still enjoyed the book, even though I didn't read the first one so far. Okay, but what is this book about? Well, basically there's this famous American author called John Rothstein, I think that's how you pronounce it. And basically he made this very famous novel called The Runner or something like that. And he made 3 books about the guy, the runner, the Jimmy Gold. I think he's Jimmy Gold, the main protagonist of his book. And then he decided to retire and basically, you know, live a life on some small farm in the middle of nowhere with all his money and all his notebooks. He still writes, but he doesn't publish anything. And there's this guy called Maurice Bellamy? Maurice Bellamy, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. Anyway, he's really obsessed with this Jimmy Gold and all the 3 novels. And he's really angry that, you know, John didn't publish any new books about the run. So he basically gets 2 friends, and they they found out where he lives. They break into his house, and basically he kills the author John Rothstein, and he steals all his money and notebooks, and he gets away with it. Basically the police doesn't know that he did it. And then he gets paranoid, and he puts all that money and all the notebooks into a treasure chest and buries it under the tree. And then he gets into prison for another crime that he committed, basically not because he killed the author, but for another different crime. He gets into prison for 35 years. And years later, while the main bad guy is rotting away in prison, this young boy called Pete Saubers, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, Pete finds this hidden treasure with all the money and notebooks inside, and basically it's coincidence that he lives in the exact same house as the killer who is now in prison. And he finds the box full of money and notebooks, and he uses the money to help his family, who's in financial troubles at the moment and basically on the verge of splitting up, you know, his mom and dad going separate ways, getting a divorce. So he secretly helps his family, and when the money runs out, he decided he's gonna sell the notebooks, but before that he reads them. And yeah, that's basically what the book is about. Years later, the killer guy, Maurice, he gets finally released out of prison, and he's like, oh, finally, I've been rotting in this prison for 35 years, I'm gonna go check on that box that I buried, and I'm gonna read the notebooks, because he's really obsessed with that guy, with that author, and Jimmy Gold and his novels. And when he finds out that the money and especially all the notebooks are gone, he basically goes insane and tries to kill the kid who stole them, and yeah, that's what this book is about. And going into this book, I actually thought this is gonna be, you know, just another criminal, you know, novel, nothing too special, but to my surprise it was actually really good written, and I just couldn't put the book down, you know. Like late at night while I was reading it, I would always tell myself, oh, just one more page, or just one more page. Or, you know, in the morning before going to my job, good news, I have a job now, so yay for me, more money equals more books, yeah. It's actually my very first job. But yeah, in the morning, like a few minutes before going to job, I would tell myself, oh, just one more page, oh, just one more page. And yeah, it's like, I never thought that this book was boring. It never went boring, so it kept me engaged all the time while reading it. So yeah, I think it's surprisingly, it's a really good book. I would recommend it. And two of my favorite characters in this novel would definitely be the main bad guy Morris, the killer who gets in prison, and the main protagonist, the main good guy, Pete, who finds his secret buried treasure. And my two least favorite protagonists would be Pete's little sister Tina. I thought she was really annoying, especially like if I had a little sister like her, I couldn't imagine that. And the other character that I didn't really like was surprisingly Holly. But as I understand, she's one of the main characters in this whole trilogy, so that will be interesting if I decide to read the other two books, the first one and the third one. And after reading this one, I think I will read the first book, which is Mr. Mercedes, and the third book, which is End of Watch, I think. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I will read the rest of this trilogy. And why I found Holly not my favorite, I don't know, kind of hard to explain. I just didn't find her that interesting, kind of annoying, but I don't know, it just didn't click with me. But yeah, like I said, it's a pretty long book, quite thick. Not the longest Stephen King book, but it's quite long. And I never thought that it got boring. It was always interesting, at least to me, you know. So yeah, I really recommend that you read this book. So, how will I rate it from 1 to 10? I think it was actually better than my first Stephen King book, which was Cell. And I'm not sure, I think I gave that book an 8 out of 10, but this one was better. If I would have to rate Cell again, I would give it 7 out of 10. And I will give Finders Keepers a well-deserved 8.5 out of 10. So 8.5 out of 10 for Finders Keepers. I will definitely be reading the rest of the trilogy. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, like and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.